Okay, buckle up, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see where this goes. Okay, Tenji's here. Satori is making me really concerned how this trial's gonna go. Patchouli is dead. Her consciousness is gone. We're on day 2. First of all, Miss Satori's hiding something. She has everyone believing that her motive was to preserve the pride of Chiriden that was supposedly wounded in a previous case. All based on the victim and where she was spotted. Yes. I wanted to object to that line of thought, but I can't think of any other reason why she would be there. What if her subconscious guided her because of her closed third eye? It's possible. Generally, I'll write off 2 seemingly unrelated facts as a coincidence, but we're already up to 3 at this point. Current suspect just happens to live with the suspect from the previous case, and she just happened to go to the residence of the guilty party from that same case. That seems simple enough so far, right? Yes, I suppose. But what about the third fact? The third is that there just happened to be someone willing and able to fulfill the detective role. You're right. It would arouse my suspicion. The only problem is that we have no idea how they're linked at the moment. Regardless, that's why I think these 3 coincidences are more like givens. I see. The hardest part is going to be figuring out the identity of the mastermind. Why is that? Think about the sequence of events. First, Miss Knowledge is attacked, and the SDM has to step down on their usual duties as a result. Then, Miss Hina and the Celestials serve as detectives in their stead. Finally, upon hearing of Miss Satori's sighting, they arrest her. That's how it all happened. Okay. Right now, we need to know how the attack was set up. We know little about what happened with the related parties and the time between that trial and this one. If Miss Satori were truly the culprit, how did she come up with the plan? Why was she driven to execute it? We know absolutely nothing regarding those matters. She might as well be, yeah. It may seem like she has a plausible motive and method at first glance, but if you think about it, the dots just don't connect. Thank goodness. For what? That you haven't slowed down a bit. You're as amazing as always, Aya. I was about to beat the crap out of Momiji. I never would have been able to figure out that much out. I'm so disoriented by the situation and misled by Mr. Satori's behavior to think straight, much less deduce how they're related. Well, I guess critical thinking under stress is what being a reporter is about. I've been feeling a little down since yesterday, but now it's like an invigorating breeze is flowing through me. Let's go collect some more evidence. You're right, tactics and planning are important. We could always use more ammo. Oh, I gotta bring up again. The unmoving Great Library is now just unmoving. Let's see what Tenchi's up to. Hey, Miss Hina and I. Don't yell like that. Okay then. Miss Hina and I. And don't space my name out like that either. I'm demanding. Why not just say my name more normally? That's too boring. Well, I guess it doesn't matter much anyway. And stop being so insistent about it. Why did you want to become a detective, Missy and I? Excuse me? Look, I got a late start yesterday. I wasn't able to ask everything I wanted to. I was just wondering why a replacement was found as soon as the SDM said they wouldn't be able to fulfill their normal duty. I actually told the Enma that I wanted us to handle the detective work this time around some time ago. Shiki said the exact same thing, but maybe it'd be best to play dumb for now. Oh, really? To be specific, I asked around the time she announced the trial system would be coming back. But I was turned down because the SDM had already become accustomed to the job. You're kind of like a backup? That's about right. I see. See what? See the answer to my question. Thank you very much for your time. Any new developments? None especially. Really? How are there going to be any sort of in so short of time? It's a mess over here since we're trying everything we can to get new evidence for the trial. Well, if you say so. If there's anything vital we must share with you, we will. I'm not expecting much, but alright. Narky, Aya. Oh, that was the Mariah Shrine. I thought that was the detention cell stuff. Oh my goodness. You're... Seeing you is bad. Miss Izuyoi. Imagine meeting you here. Yes, it's certainly, Oh, that's right. You mentioned yesterday you had more testimony for the trial, correct? Yes, I did. I was not quite finished yet. You think you could tell us what that is? That is naturally impossible. I've been silenced by the detectives. What do you mean? Of course. I'm terribly sorry. What would this be? She's never seen a notebook before. What are you doing in a place like this? The SDM is independently investigating the matter. As the suspect has already been apprehended, I'm looking into evidence to support her conviction. Unfortunately for you. I traveled here because I heard there was a witness, hence our meeting. I see. And how about Miss Scarlet? The lady has devoted herself to directing our investigative efforts. From the mansion, I imagine? Yes, she should be there. How is Miss Knowledge's condition? She is sleeping peacefully, though her consciousness has yet to return. She's currently at Yintei, under the care of Miss Yagakoro. Ah, so she's no longer at the mansion? Correct. No changes to speak of? Not since the time I found her. It's akin to her being in a deep slumber. I see. I hope she recovers soon. I do too. I appreciate your concern. By the way, who is it who saw Miss Satori around here? Did detectives not inform you? If they think Chirin... Not at all. Right. They didn't give us any new information. You know Miss Izuyoi? I heard it was the Shrine Maiden here. Is Kochi, Yes, I believe that was her name. She's the one who alerted the detectives? I do not know that much. I'm afraid that is all I'm able to share. I see. That should be enough, thank you very much. We'll ask for ourselves. I also paid a visit to ask, but it seems that there's no one present. Yeah. Oh well, we'll just come back later then. Satori, you make me so concerned. Miss Satori. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. So, have you changed your mind? No. I see. Well, it's in plenty of sunlight depending on the time of day. Quite a bit different from the one at the SCM. We were so short in time yesterday, I was unable to get an in-depth explanation about the case. Can you tell me more about it, then? Alright. This was on the day it happened. I was unable to forgive the disgrace that Oku suffered from being falsely accused. Satori... Yeah, as spell cards are currently sealed, I had no other choice but to resort to what I did. I targeted Miss Knowledge first, as she was also connected to the Geyser Institute. Where'd you go after you stole Miss Knowledge's consciousness? I was heading towards the Mariah Shrine, but there's a blank in my memory. My subconscious must have taken over en route. I see. Same as the prosecution summarized the other day. Naturally, I gave them the same testimony. By the way, how'd you make it into the Scarlet Devil Mansion's library? What do you mean? Well, there are quite a few maids at the mansion. The head maid is rather formidable. Not to mention the very short time frame in which the deed was done. When did you sow your seed? I doubt that such a pinpoint operation could have been carried out unnoticed under the circumstances. Well, of course, anyone might think so. It was all happenstance. Really? So you think you just got lucky? Yes. I see. I better make a good note of that. What has changed with your third eye closed? A number of things. I can now see my sister, and maybe she'll be able to see me. Is she? Yes. I can no longer read minds with my third eye closed. However, I'm able to pick up strong, clear emotions. But being able to tell exactly what's on the mind of anyone like before? Utterly impossible. In exchange, I'm able to manipulate the conscious of others. Which is how you're able to do that to miss knowledge. Is that what you're saying? Yes. Wasn't that a bit of a gamble? But that's how it seems to me. I doubt there was any guarantee that closing your third eye like Miss Koishi would give you her abilities. And you could have lost all sense of self and gone completely out of control. That's how it was a gamble. I agree. The fact that you still haven't completely closed your third eye seems like you're still unsure if everything will turn out as you expect. Yes, that about sums it up. What do you have to say about that? Sorry, losing consciousness. What? Satori? No. Oh well, let's return later. I love when people play dumb. Oh. Okay. I was expecting this to, like, give me access to a different location to go. Well, we went nowhere fast. Certainly seems that way. I can't think of anywhere else we need to go in particular right now. We can't just sit around until Miss Koichi returns to the shrine. Let's think of something. Time for a quick meeting. Let's review the evidence one more time. Alright. Is there anything coming to mind? Well, why don't we try going to the Scarlet Devil Mansion? That's not a bad idea. They may have noticed something that only they could. That's right. Anywhere else? Besides there? We should probably go there too. Where exactly? Jiriden, the scene of the arrest. Again? Yes, but only as a last resort. I'd rather not go anywhere that dangerous more than necessary. I agree. Go see my girl Remy. Excuse me? Oh, what are you doing here? Huh? What happened to Miss Izuya and the other maids? They're out investigating. Forgive the poor hospitality. I don't mind at all. In fact, I'm here to speak with you. About the case, I imagine? That's right. I'm sorry, but I have no intention of colluding with the suspect. That would only be if she were actually the culprit. You're saying she's not? What else? Of course she isn't. Otherwise, I would have never accepted her case. Very well, I shall hear you out. I may even give you some information that we gathered, if I feel so inclined. Thank you very much. Evidence, please. Could you tell me about your take on the case? Well, it all started when Sakia found a patch passed out on the floor. I believe it was early afternoon. You believe? I was asleep. Of course, Saki aroused me soon afterwards. Saki aroused me. What time was that? Let me think. It was around the time Patch has her afternoon tea, so somewhere around 3 and 4 o'clock. I see. That would have been a little bit after the case, because the case was supposed to happen, like, right at, like, somewhere between, like, noon and 2. I think that's what was said before, if I'm remembering correctly. How's your independent investigation coming along? To be frank, poorly. I thought you were Remy, not Frank. There's simply not enough in the way of evidence or witnesses. So you're in the same boat I am. Vexing as it is, yes. Psychic Remy Yuri scene? Yeah, I'm trying to unlock that one. I haven't even discerned how the culprit was able to infiltrate the library. And you allowed the detectives to investigate the library, correct? Yes, of course. However, with Sakia, Mei Ling, and all the maids out, I had to see to their work personally. And how'd it go? The Celestials did not appear to be lax in their efforts, yet they uncovered nothing. I see. Did Miss Hinai have any comment? Hinai? Oh, yes. Her. Tenchi Hinai was her name, no? She wasn't there. She didn't join the investigation? She sent a letter in her place. She hasn't gone anywhere. She explained how she was so busy performing other required tasks that she was unable to attend to the scene, and requested we allow her subordinates to examine it. That's awfully strange. Why was Miss Hinai missing from all these key events? She wasn't there at the arrest. She didn't investigate the SDM. What do you mean? Oh, it's just that it seems she wasn't there when Miss Satori was arrested, leaving that task to the Celestials as well. Perhaps she was similarly occupied? But this was the arrest of a suspect. Both that and the guarantee of the crime scene's integrity are significant tasks, right? That may be true. With nothing to back up your claims, it's all empty conjecture. Yeah, I guess so. Please share all the evidence you've collected so far with us. A highly selfish demand, isn't it? I'm fully aware of that. However, I feel that the side that truly wants to uncover the truth on this case is not the prosecution, but us. You prove that. Well, it's true that the end goal of the prosecution may unfairly charge crimes upon the innocent. In something similar not be said of the defense, I can be absolutely positively sure that you're not to acquit a guilty party. Is a mere not guilty verdict your goal? But that's... Oh, I never said that was mistaken. I'm not saying you were mistaken either. Tenchi seems to be suspicious. Yes, but I don't think in a culprit-level way. Probably not. Neither side will know if they were mistaken until the end. All prosecution defense can do is act guided by their convictions. Dude, what if, like, Tenchi showed up to Satori's joint and Satori was like, I see how badly you want to investigate this crime. I'm gonna go, like, pretend to do it so that you can do it. No, that wouldn't work. But what if? Tenchi knows the culprit and wants to cover. Yeah, but who would she even do that for? Like, who in Gensokyo would she even do that for? Chion's not here. Reimu, I guess? Maybe Suika? Neither side will know if they were mistaken until the end. All the prosecution defense could do is act guided by their convictions. But if you knew that I was pursuing the truth, would you assist me then? Yes, without a doubt. But that is what I'm pursuing as well. I understand. I'll rescind my demand for now. I'm looking forward to when you can produce evidence. No, they've done a good job at, like, making the cases at least make sense. Usually, like, the end result convictions are a little questionable and, like, the integrity of the punishment. Where are we going, Mariah Shrine? Oh, it seems that Satori isn't here. Imagine she's being interrogated. Weird. Except for a few coins. I don't believe that there are a few coins in here. Hmm. Not necessarily letting me go to Chiriden. Is it running again? I can't go to Chiriden, though. It's not popping up anywhere. A lot different from some other shrines. Hmm. Hmm. Gotta be something somewhere. Oops. Oh. Where am I supposed to... What am I supposed to interact with? This is the statement from Miss Satori claiming how it was pure chance she got into the mansion's library undetected. Yes, that struck me as very strange. How so? Because this is Miss Satori we're talking about. Why would someone as astute... why would someone so astute run in headlong without a plan? You're right. Whether or not she was waiting for the right opportunity, there had to be some kind of stimulus, a trigger. In other words, a necessity for that action. Sorry, nothing's coming to me. I'll try to think about it this way. Assume that Miss Satori was waiting for the right moment to strike. That differs from what she said in her affidavat. I don't know what that word is. Yes, that's the key point. She doesn't want that to be revealed. Okay. So what do you think? Seems to me that she lied. I understand now. To see that no one would follow up on her lie. Exactly. That switch to her subconscious was a little unnatural to me. Sucka. If it was also that no one could tell she was lying, that sounds plausible. Huh? What's the matter? And couldn't we apply that idea to the previous step? That she wasn't waiting for the right timing. No, we believe that Miss Satori isn't the criminal. She wouldn't have been the one doing the waiting in the first place. Huh? Meaning... Well, wait a second. Yee! What the? You're right, if we're assuming that Miss Satori isn't the culprit, then she never would have needed to take any sort of timing into account at all. And then going back to the previous problem of someone like Miss Satori going into something so major without a plan being odd, If she's avoiding answering any questions about the details of her plot, then she might have not been thought to create one. Which means she really didn't do it, thinking about the situation clearly. All the excuses she had prepared would have been worth the effort. Which means she was forced to answer in such a way, maybe. Oh, that's right, going backwards from when Miss Knowledge was discovered, there wouldn't have been enough time. She was really acting on her subconscious after closing her third eye. She wouldn't have been able to think about that. I guess that's as far as that line of logic goes. Gulp. Momiji! What? Atta girl. You reminded me that we must always believe in our client's innocence. She was too distracted by Satori's strange behavior, got too fixated on what she was hiding. That just won't do. Given that Miss Satori's innocent, even if we have to resort to guessing the real culprit's identity, there will be a way. That's right. Hello, 11. Okay, Momiji. Looks like today's gonna be a busy day. Yes, ma'am. What'd you miss? Remy got naked and started making out with Sakuya. We learned that Tenshi did not go to the SDM to investigate. And we talked with Sakuya and got kind of nowhere. We talked with Remy and got kind of nowhere. Man, this is so stupid. I can't even get any cleaning done. Sip. The red and white shrine maiden seems irritable today. Wonder why. Hello, Miss Hakure. What are you in a huff about? Huh? Oh, it's just a crow tango taking her dog for a walk. Please don't call me that. So why are you sitting here drinking bitter tea with a sour look on your face, all by yourself? You keep things tidy around here. As soon as I get everything straightened out, the Celestial stampede through here, and I'm back to square one. I see. I can imagine something like that happening. I don't care anymore what the criminal is. I just want them out of my shrine, pronto. That's being a bit too forceful, isn't it? You got nothing to do with me, so I don't give a flip. Whoa, watch your wording. You wouldn't happen to have noticed anything about Miss Hinai, would you? About Tenchi? Not really. It's not like I've known her all that long. Oh, so? I tell you this. Like you might have guessed from those earthquakes she caused, all she can think of is being the center of attention and killing time. If she can't do both at once, if she can do both at once, she's set. That kind of life seems like fun. It looks like she's enjoying it, at least. Yes, I suppose. In that sense, she's fulfilled. Unlike you. Compared to my current position, I've got a few things I'd like to get off my back. Well, I don't want to hear it. How heartless. Hey, I don't have the time to listen to your sob stories. Looks like you're just drinking tea. Yes, it's very precious time to me. You don't say. I'll be back in a minute. I gotta get some water. No, Momiji has not been agitatedly swaying her arms yet. Yeah, where else are we going? We're going back to you. I hope Miss Kochi is here. Same here. Oh, and there she is. Miss Kochi! Oh, isn't Miss Shimaimaru, Miss Inubashiri? I was expecting you. Huh? You are already aware that I was a witness to Miss Satori's arrest, yes? Yeah, so that saves us the trouble of explaining it. Can you get right to telling us what you saw? It was the evening. I saw Miss Satori standing not far from here, staring at the sky. She wasn't doing anything else. Nothing at all. She stood perfectly still. She was paralyzed by a Darumadol. You remember if her third eye was open or not? I'm sorry, but I didn't look that closely. Let's see. Well, in any case, her behavior was unusual. I decided to invite her into the shrine. But she didn't move an inch. I had no idea what to do. I remembered that the trial system was still in effect, so I thought it might be a good idea to contact the detectives. When I did, they told me she was a suspect and came to arrest her. Wait. But she was supposedly arrested at Chiriden. Huh? That seems strange. What does? Just that Miss Satori was arrested in Chiriden. No, she was taken away right before my eyes. Was Tenchi there? What? Doesn't make sense. Just what's going on here? How can the same person be arrested in two different places for the same crime? My new ace, like, radar is going through the roof right now, but, like, I wonder if the game's actually going to go there. Was it that he was arrested in Chiriden? I thought it was, Orin. Or, like, Suika. That's simply ridiculous. Right, it's impossible, plain simple. It means there's something suspicious afoot. Grab the measuring stick. This seems like quite a complicated story. Traveling parties, we have next to no leads. There's no evidence, and precious few witnesses. That's truly baffling. Oh, that's right. You've experienced leading me on a wild goose chase. You think of any hint? I don't know anything that would help. Can you tell me if Tenchi came here? But you couldn't have seen the real arrest. Regardless, I know very little about the case, so I can't answer much else. Alright then. Oh, one more thing. Thank goodness she asked this question. Was Miss Hinanai there when the arrest was made? Yes, she was. So Tenchi was here, but she didn't go to the SDM, and she didn't go to Chiriden. And she would never tell a lie in her life, so it must have been Nuea. So was that this arrest? No idea what's going on anymore. Anyway, thank you very much for your time. Is there a chance someone's getting framed to get someone off? Is there a chance that Satori's actually guilty and it's not Satori that we're, like, defending? Wait, Tenchi has an artifact which you can duplicate people for a short time? Who knows? shrewdly added to the court record. The case has got more interesting, but in a way that makes me less concerned than I was previous. Although I'm still concerned. Yeah, this is from Suika. Where'd Sakuya go? She was at the Murder Shrine. Where'd she go? .11:04. This one actually has a time, unlike the last few. You know, any leaves on the characters out here. Things could definitely be going better. There's so little evidence. I think that is Koichi. Yeah, but the question is, what are they, like... I thought about that. But can Koichi impersonate? Like, that's what I mentioned when I said that, is Satori actually the culprit and that's not Satori? We don't have much to show others when we need to try to get more information out of them either. What a pain. Yeah, let's collect our thoughts for a bit. Right. First, our big catch, Miss Satori's arrests. Yes, I still can't believe that 2 people saw her being arrested in 2 different places. And both have no reason to lie, so that definitely leaves us in the lurch. That we presume they have reason to lie. Right, Miss Sabuki would never lie. Miss Kochia doesn't have anything to gain from doing so either, unless they're involved. It's a cover-up. Exactly. Perhaps they could have made a deal with the detectives, but neither of them seem like the types who would do that. Sigh. Seeing as how we're stumped, let's move on. To what? Miss Hinai's actions. Though she's in charge of the investigation, she wasn't there at the crime scene, nor when the arrest was made. That's just beyond strange. But in your words, too coincidental, yes? Indeed, so that brings us to the total of 4. Miss Kochia said she saw her at the arrest. That's another odd story. Looks like we're stuck on this trail, too. There are too many missing links. Yeah, but now that we know they're missing, we can set that chain aside and move on to the next part. Which is, I really don't want to, but we must go to Chiriden, and you're joining me for this trip. What? Well, there's no time to prepare the backup method. We need to investigate every tiny lead to get ready before the trial starts. Okay? Yes, ma'am, understood. Ooh, I'm so nervous. My knees are knocking. That's better than the last time we were here. You were trembling so much you could hardly walk. I guess so, but... Okay, we're here. Is anybody around? Oh, hey, what's up? Oh, thank goodness you're here. I was almost certain you went back to the Hakure Shrine. Nah, not with Tenchi and her crew causing a racket. Parties are fun when they're loud, but they're just noisy. I'd rather enjoy my sake nice and easy. Yes, I know how you feel. Anyway, what brings you out here again? Remember how you told us how Miss Satori's arrest? I want to get a few more details on that if I could. I can try. Imagery as always. Yeah. First, just to check, you still say that he and I was not there at the time. That's right. Didn't see hide or hair or... In that case, Momiji. Yes? Sniff around for Miss Hinai's scent. Be thorough so we can say for sure she wasn't here. Yes, ma'am. What is this about? Well, to make a long story short, it's impossible for anyone to be arrested in 2 different places at nearly the same time. No duh. Yes, that's what I'd like to think, which is why there must be some way we can show why that was impossible. But thanks to you. Well, we took this job, so we have to see it through any way we can. Good job, Momiji. Find anything? I searched all over the place, yet I can only recognize the sense of Miss Sabuki, Miss Hoshigumi, Miss Hoshiguma, Miss Oku, and Miss Orin. That definitely means that Miss Hinai has never been here, before or after the arrest. Which is Celestials came here to inspect for her, though. I don't get it at all. I don't get how she could just leave all these important tasks to others. And also... Personally, I don't like it. But personal preference aside, it still seems too unnatural. There must be a reason for it. If we can find out what that reason is, it'll go a long way in untangling this mystery. Seems like there's an awful lot we don't know, though. Well, we just have to assemble the pieces of the puzzle, slow and steady. But I sure don't sound like you. That was an improvement to this statement. Is there anything else you might know? Yeah, I think I got one thing. Which is it? What is it? We ain't cut out for this kind of snooping around. At least she's happy. Oh, that was a letdown. But I'm telling you, I don't know nothing. So, don't be getting snippy with me, Miss Tengu Reporter. Now's not the time for wisecracks. I could have sworn Yugi's pal knew something. I guess they didn't know this time. Oh, that stung more than I expected. The second time we've seen her randomly. We saw her at one point yesterday, or last time, right? I don't remember exactly where it was, though. Look, Aya, there's Miss Koishi. Where? You barely missed her. She was just wandering aimlessly in front of the shrine. You certainly are suited to be a scout. Your eyesight's much better than mine. I couldn't see that far if my life depended on it. No one could beat me when it comes to eagle eyes. Not even an actual eagle. Oh, what is it this time? Did you forget something? No, there's just a few loose ends to tie up. We have some more questions for you. Whatever could they be? I'd like to ask you again about the arrest you saw. I want every last teeny tiny insignificant detail you can recall. Well, alright. At first, Miss Satori was seated right here. And then detectives came and began the procedure for arresting her. And Miss Hinai was there too? Yes, she brought Miss Koishi as well. They stood around here. An eagle Tengu isn't Saki like the head of like the eagle spirits though? I know Shear's not an eagle, nuts. Yeah, isn't it Saki? I know she's not an eagle, but... Momiji. What is it? Check around here to see if you can detect Miss Hinai's scent. Alright. Sniff, sniff. Yes, I can smell it. Miss Hinai was here. Is that important? Yes, this case has become rather confusing, so it's especially important to confirm who did it. I know she's a horse, but like there's the 3 spirits, right? There's the there's like the wolf, the otter, and the eagle. And there's like the leader of each of them, right? And if I'm not mistaken, the leader of the eagle one is Saki? You mentioned something like that earlier. That's why we came back, to try to clear up as much doubt as possible. I see. You need to confirm if Hina and I was truly present. Exactly, sorry to trouble you. You have our gratitude. Why was Koishi with them? Now we're good to go. It's 7 p.m. I would skip 3 hours in the future. It's your dear friend, Miss Shimaibu, here for another visit. I'm not sure I can agree with the entirety of that statement. Really? That stings. Anyway, what's your business this time? As I mentioned earlier, I was going to show you just how serious I am. Oh, that sounds splendid. I can't wait. Well, in any case, you all have gathered some sort of evidence or helpful information, I take it? More or less. However, the culling, assessment, and judgment of the evidence is normally handled by Patch. We've done nothing of the sort with our collection. She's the cry wants to pin a Satori. And like what? She's like dealing with Tenchi in this matter? Did Tenchi even see Koishi when the arrest was made? That's another question. Yet if there's anything that you feel will be useful, I'll share without reluctance. How do you make, like, illusions? Is there 2 people possibly arrested? Doubt it. However, there's one unconditional demand. Yes, I expected as much. Now let's get to the main issue. This and this are both eyewitness statements about Miss Satori's arrest. What's the meaning of this? They don't corroborate it in the least. That's right. If that wasn't enough, Miss Ibuki said that Miss He and I wasn't present when Miss Satori was being arrested. Then include that with... but she wasn't present at the crime scene investigation in the library. Exactly. There undoubtedly seems to be something odd here. I cannot deny the possibility that these have no bearing on the case. However, the fewer mysteries, the better. If there's no reason to keep them a secret, they should be honest about them. And there's yet another problem. When Miss Izuyoi allowed us to enter the library, we detected Miss Hinanai's scent. Huh? You don't seem very surprised. Rest assured, I'm plenty surprised. Really? Alright then. For these reasons, I hold the detective efforts in suspicion. Okay, that makes Tenchi more guilty in the idea that she could have been there earlier. Right, at a previous time, before the investigation. Prosecution's methods should not be mired in mystery. She wanted to make a case so that there would be drama, so that stuff would happen and resolve around her. I understand that Miss Hinai is very busy, acting as both detective and prosecutor. You and I go to the headquarters at the Hakura Shrine, I can never seem to catch her, and I've never encountered her in my investigation. However, it doesn't matter how busy you may be, things like being present for the suspect's arrest and the crime scene investigation should go without saying. Yes, I see your concern. I want to understand every last detail about this case. Not just in court, but the proceedings surrounding it. I feel it goes deeper than that. For my reasoning is, solving these odd occurrences equals finding the criminal? That's right. I think you understand my frame of mind and my determination. Yes, I believe I do. How about it? Can you do me this favor? Alright. Thank you very much, Miss Scarlet. Don't misunderstand. I want you to find the miscreant responsible for doing such a wretched thing to Patch. A false accusation would not serve that purpose. Indubitably. I care not in the least if you believe that Satori Komeiji is innocent. If it turns out that she is, then good for her. My sole concern is the identity of the true criminal. I understand. Well, with the trial system being what it is, there is the possibility that the criminal may not be found. There should be some progress in narrowing down suspects. And there are my thoughts. May I expect you to deliver? Haha, I'll do everything I can. A passing reply. Then here's a reward. What's this? If I knew what it was called, I would have told you. If everything has a name, does that mean you have no idea what it is? To put it plainly, personally, I'd have preferred a more poetic rendition. You exchanged opinions about expression some other time. Is this all you were able to find? Yes. Everything we had covered proved to be completely unrelated. This is the lone article of which we could make neither heads nor tails. I remember Miss Hong telling me about something resembling this. She called it a taijitsu, a symbol of the spirits that make up the world. That's about all we know. Mima! The vengeful spirit Mima! As for the meaning behind the arrangements of the lines, its purpose, or whether or not it has been used, or if it's just a simple decoration, none of that is clear. Understood. I'll look into it while I continue my investigation. Counting on you. Oh, and one last thing. It was found in the garden. Aijiru, question mark, secured in court record. Reimu. Rip. What's on the other half of this paper? It doesn't look like it's just a corner of this like this, because this part sticks out. Alright, we need to start getting ready for the trial. Oh, that time already? That time of the month? Part of the Miyako? Seems like it'll be hard to tell what's going to happen. What we can do is fight with the weapons we've picked up. Come on, let's get going. So there's a Satori standing in front of the Morai Shrine that is arrested with both Koishi and Tenchi. How involved Koishi was, who knows? This Satori was still and motionless. He did not move or react when called out to from Sanai. There's also a Satori that was arrested from Chiriden. She did the crime. I wonder. I don't think it's impossible. Doesn't look like Miss Satori's here yet. Or no, it doesn't. Now that's concerning. Sanai or Suiko's lying? I don't think... Or neither of them are lying. It is very possible that neither Suiko or Sanai are lying. It is very possible that one of them might be. But it's completely possible that neither of them are, and there's some weird shenanigans afoot. Or, it's possible that, because you say, or Tenchi is lying, it's possible that it's none of the three. I don't know what the odds of that are, maybe only like 10 to 20%, but there is a possibility it's none of the three. Let's do a quick rundown of the situation. We have very little new testimony or evidence to work with. Just sweet at the time. If she was sober, I don't believe her. If she was drunk, I believe her. The thing that makes me concerned about Tenchi is that Reimu comment. Where Reimu commented how that she, like, wants all the attention on her. And that, you know, she doesn't like to be bored. If it wasn't for that, I would think there's a very real chance that she's not actually involved. But that single comment makes me think that she's involved in it. But only at like a 60-40, 70-30 way. Do a quick rundown of the situation. Yes, that's true, but would it be wise to try pressing the issue of the contradiction concerning the arrest? Maybe. He'd only work if they accepted our argument straight, though. What we need to do for now is to see what evidence the prosecution will present and address any discrepancies that they come up. Yes, that does sound better. It would likely say that the arrest was made at the Mirai Shrine. However, if we try to insist that it was actually at Shiriden based on the witness testimony we received, since the witness was Mitsubuki, someone close to the suspect, that will lack persuasion. To mention the fact that there's no corroborating evidence, such as a picture or other witnesses. Oh. That's why trying to point out the prosecution's strange maneuvers will be difficult. You must use discretion and wait for the right time. I see. Then I'll focus even harder. Oh, Miss Satori. Thank you for your hard work. We know you're hiding something. Am I? I've told you everything already, which is why I don't want you to prove my innocence, but lessen the severity of my sentence. That is exactly why I think you're covering for something. Believe what you wish, but I have no intention of changing my claims. I understand. Wish you good luck today. I mean, there's a world where it's to the original comment where Koichi is guilty, and she is aiding in the whole process, and Satori is taking the fall instead of Koichi. Purpose? Ah, yeah. Today, we're gonna blow the lid off this whole mess. Yes! The second day of the trial of Satori Komeiju will now come to order. Both sides made their preparations. Prosecution is ready, Your Honor. Defense is also prepared, Your Honor. Excellent. As neither side was able to prove their respective cases during yesterday's brief proceedings, I hope we will be able to make more substantial deliberation today. I understand, Your Honor. I have nothing to amend to my opening statement, and I would instead like to call yesterday's witness to the stand so she could continue her testimony. If you would. Then please approach the stand, witness. Thank you for coming back. Can I ask you to continue your testimony? Yes, I shall. Please listen well. Right into it. It was early afternoon on that day, yes. Confirm this. That it should have been no later than 4 o'clock. It was the prosecuting Tenchi trial, it was Remy. I saw Miss Satori before the incident. Convenient? Excuse? Lie? Or truth? As I stated yesterday, I sighted her en route to the Mirai Shrine later that afternoon, okay? Yeah. So the only places where she was seen were the Scarlet Devil Mansion and near the Mirai Shrine. Is that all? Yes, Your Honor. There's one thing I'd like to confirm. Miss Hina and I, were you contacted regarding the sighting of the suspect at the Mirai Shrine? Yes, we received word from the Shrine Maiden there, Miss Sanai Kochia. I see, thank you. Now your cross-examination defense. Yes, Your Honor. Was Satori possibly never cheered in during the incident? Potentially. But then either Suika is, like, completely delusional or lying. If that is true. Or it was now actually Satori, but someone pretending? Question mark? It was early afternoon on that day. I don't think they'd do it, especially without provocation. This is Tenchi we're talking about, however. And you know who's well known for hating Tenchi? Though they have not mentioned her name yet this trial. I'm just keeping an eye out for Yukari, because, like, if you're talking about weird circumstances, gaps can lead to some really weird circumstances. It was early afternoon on that day. And you were certain it was the afternoon? Yes, absolutely. Alright, so it was the afternoon. A little repetitive, aren't we? I'm confirming a very important detail. That was the extent of this line of questioning, so I'd like to continue. Fine. Around what time was this? I cannot indicate a specific time, it was just afternoon. This was before you found Miss Knowledge unconscious? Yes. En route. As she was heading in that direction. I see. I imagine Miss Satori is flying, correct? Yes, she was. As for you, I was on foot. That must have been a considerable distance, yes? Quite. I heard that the defendant had closed her third eye and became able to manipulate the subconscious. However, she was prone to being controlled by her own subconscious as a result, wandering wherever it may lead her. Does that have any relation to your testimony? Yes, it does. When I found her, her flight movement was unsteady. It was as she were riding the wind. I see. Your basis was because she was flying unsteadily. Correct. Is there anything else? Your Honor, the defense is trying to draw out the cross-examination and fatigue the witness in hopes of obtaining favorable testimony. What should I do? Did Miss Izuha hear about us from Miss Scarlet? She told her to cooperate. That's a little hard to do in this situation. This is a very important line of questioning. We need a step-by-step approach in order to gain full comprehension of this situation. What's sophistry? Order in the court. Ms. Shimaru, can you explain why this is so important? Evidence would be the easiest way to convince us. What are we proving? To see in those two places, I don't think it's going to be the Suika statement. I mean, it could be, but I feel like that's just, yeah. But I wanted to confirm. Give me my HP back. If you can't explain it, that's what I was gonna go try next. I just said you were right, it's just at this step I can't explain it. What unsightly excuses. Yak. Questions as succinct as possible. No. Nope. Every time they have like a thing where it's like involves like clicking the additional options in a dialogue, it's like always related to the problem. I'll try the Sinai testimony just out of curiosity. Yeah. This is Miss Kochia's testimony. Huh? She was the one who notified you about the suspect, correct? Of course, if you have a problem with this, you could summon her as a witness. Well prepared, I see. But I agree, in situations such as these, it is only proper to confirm things in turn. The court accepts the defense's claim. However, I would appreciate it if they would be concise as possible. Yes, I understand, Your Honor. Thank you very much. Yeah. Then if I may continue, according to this testimony, the suspect was arrested at the Mariah Shrine soon after. But the arrest wasn't made until the evening. Did the defendant just wander about willy-nilly for a few hours? Oh? Oh, she's sweating. I'm not questioning the veracity of her statement. You certainly saw the defendant in the afternoon. And then the arrest was made at night when Miss Kochia invited Miss Satori into the shrine. It shouldn't have taken too long for her to notify the detectives afterwards. This means there's a blank spot in time between Miss Izuo's and Miss Kochia's testimonies. Ah! Good. So can you explain how this discrepancy came to be? Wug? Is how you thought I'd react, right? Huh? You thought I wouldn't notice that too. Here's a statement from the defendant. Huh? In our investigation from earlier, we were able to obtain the details of her actions in her confession. She included how she subconsciously headed towards the Mariah Shrine. Once there, unable to locate Miss Mariah or Miss Yasuka, she again fell into subconsciousness. Meaning, there is no time unaccounted for. The suspect was merely lying in wait for her next victims. But... Order in the court! Order, I say! Oh, things finally calmed down. As the defense recovered from their shock. Yes, somewhat. Be making Satori out as a mass murderer and killing spree. The problem is that Satori's making herself out as a mass murderer on a killing spree. With sudden details of this attempted assault coming to light, what will the defense do now? She's taunting me, right? The defense claims that... she regrets her actions. Aya! What? You're a stubborn one. Objection! God, you fucking bitch. You're so scum that my internet is dropping because of you. I'm playing, frame recovery mode right now, come on. Okay, my frames appear to be back. Miss Shimaru, I thought I made myself clear. Yeah, you fucking bet. I have confessed. All I wanted from you is to lessen my sentence. Yes, I understand. So why did you continue to resist? Because I don't believe even the slightest that you're guilty. What? Why? I don't understand. Miss Satori. If this continues any longer, let us continue, Your Honor. Wait, don't! Any more will be... Silence! Huh? You are speaking out of turn, and I will have no more of it. I order the defendant to leave the courtroom. She is to remain in the waiting room. You can't! Bailiff, Komachi, Onozuka, please escort the defendant out. Bailiff Onozuka! Bailiff Onozuka... Komachi! She's not coming, is she? What? She's looking around again, if I may, I'll escort her. If I may impose, then please. Is Komachi missing because she's lazy? Or is it actually plot-related? It could be either. Okay, let's go, Miss Satori. Ooh. You sure look totally defeated just now. Ahem. With that disturbance removed, let's continue with the proceedings. Which is always dead asleep, yeah. I've returned, Your Honor. Sorry to trouble you. Not at all. Shouldn't there be, like, police or something, like, keeping an eye on the defendant? Now, Miss Shimaru, why do you insist upon the defendant's innocent despite her own confession? I am a defense attorney. All I do is continue to believe in the innocence of my client and defend them until the end. Understandable, I suppose. If it looks like a kill, we'd be in real trouble. And Miss Hinanai? Yes, Your Honor. About the further offense of which you spoke early in this trial. Yes, and not something that should be taken lightly. Did she or did she not carry it out? She did not, but only because she didn't encounter her targets. I see, as such, this will not change the current bearing on the case regarding the assault of patchouli knowledge. Isn't the assumption that her further targets were Kaneko and Suwako just that, an assumption? Understood, Your Honor. I will change my approach. See to it that you do. Witness, do you have any further testimony? I do not, Your Honor. You're dismissed. I appreciate your assistance over not just 1, but 2 days. Then I shall take my leave. However, as new questions have arisen from her testimony, I feel that the suspect's criminal actions have not yet been proven. Exactly, Your Honor. That is why I have a second witness prepared. Is it Sanai, or is it someone else? It's Sanai. This is gonna be another tough nut to crack. What do you mean, huh? So much for like carefully laid plans. We're gonna have to wing it. Should we really be so haphazard? Don't put it like that. Witness your name and occupation. Then I Kochi. I served as a shrine maiden at the Mirai Shrine. Well, you testify about when I saw Miss Satori up until her arrest. She's gonna make a lie about what she saw based on what she told us, maybe? I understand, Your Honor. I saw Miss Satori somewhat late in the afternoon. She was standing by the gate. When evening fell, I let her inside as it was starting to grow cold. That's false. I decided to contact detectives just to be sure, but then I found out she was a suspect. They came and arrested her soon after. That's a lie. That you yourself told me otherwise. It appears to support Miss Izuyo's testimony, or statement. I see. It should be solid enough. Mr. Shimaru will, or rather, can you cross-examine the witness? I will and can, Your Honor. He'll press everything. And you were certain about that? As it can be. I always have tea at 3 p.m., and I remember seeing her just before then. That doesn't seem too far off from the times Miss Izuyo mentioned. I believe so. When I first saw her, she was simply staring off into space. I see. And she just stood there the whole time? I cannot say for sure. I had to clean and perform other duties. Was she ever not there when you checked? When you put it that way, yes, I believe she was somewhere else one time I looked. That seems like new information. Where was it? Was it still fairly close to the gate? No, it was near the building in the front. Is there usually someone inside it? Well, they're not living quarters, but Lady Suwako and Kaneko are occasionally inside. They were not there yesterday, though. Where were they, then? I do not know. They only mentioned they would be out. I see. You had no idea of her charges. Not in the least. Say nothing of her intent toward Lady Suwako and Kaneko. What nerve! When did you learn of that? Just now, when Missy and I mentioned it. I see. The little tangent of hers was totally unnecessary. Girl, she's starting to tick me off. Were you watching when they did? Yes, I was. What did Miss Hina and I do then? She took Miss Satori's hands, held them together, and then tied a rope around her wrists. And you were there? Yes, I was. Did we not speak of this when we talked earlier? Yes, but it's very important that you testify about it here in court as evidence. Sorry to trouble you. No, it's quite alright. I'll forget everything, go home and take a nap. Please don't give up that easily. Such a pain. Maybe if I try a little harder, I'll find a hole to break her testimony open. Right, maybe I better present some evidence. Of course, timing is everything. she was present to your face, but did not testify about this course. She just did. She just said that Tenchi came and arrested her. What did Miss Hina and I do? She took Mrs. Tori's hands, held them together, and tied a rope. We could say the rest happened. It was about the same time. Your Honor. What is it? I am hereby submitting this testimonial summary as evidence. What is this? It is eyewitness testimony from Miss Suika Ibuki. According to this, she saw Miss Satori being arrested in Chiriden. Okay, Tenchi, what are you up to? What is the meaning of this defense? It should have all the details. But, for some reason, the very same suspect was arrested for the same crime in two places. That is very clearly abnormal. What? What did you... So how about it, Miss Hina and I? Could you give us an explanation? They're going to be like, Suika's testimony is unreliable. Regarding this strange phenomenon. Ooh. Yes, you're quite obligated to provide one. Out with it. Oh, she's going to start crying again. Your Honor, this will not do. Yeah, it's gonna be like, oh, Suika's not. What will not do? I mean, this deception will not do. Fucking just. Deception? How can you say that? But that's what this is. It's true that the Celestials went to Chiriden and made an arrest. Huh? What? Here's the sequence of events. First, the suspect was cited and arrested at the Mariah Shrine. That is what you have claimed so far. Yes, and that will not change. That is because the Celestials took the suspect with them to Chiriden. That is not where I expected her to go. What were they doing? What did you say? Why would you do something like that? Simple. For, what is that? Domiciliary? Domiciliary? Domiciliary...
Domiciliary.
Domiciliary. A person who legally resides in a particular place. A house search. An indispensable part of any investigation, otherwise you might not know if they're hiding any other incriminating evidence. Yeah, but objection, you weren't there. Why? Am I wrong? That sounds acceptable to me. How does that sound acceptable to you? We arrested her and took her home. What? But if it was so important, why didn't you go yourself? I was occupied. I'm serving as inspector and prosecutor, you know. Oh no, is there no way out of this? It was an exceedingly simple explanation. There seems to be nothing unnatural about it. But of course, prosecution must be pure and honest. dare you? Seems the defense has raised no objections thus far. Do you have anything to say in response? Aya? No. We're done for. Oh my gosh, dude. How many times do we get these in this game where it's like, how are we gonna get out of this one? It's impossible. We get out of it. Aya, please try to turn about your viewpoint. What? Momiji. If you change how you see the situation, you might find a new hint. Change my POV. Now I think about it. There was one more thing, wasn't there? How about it, defense? If you know further objections, I will hand down my verdict. Aha, that could be it. Please wait, Your Honor. Oh? Any further struggling is useless. There's still one more point that I can't help but be concerned about. And what would that be? It's regarding... I love how, like, every, 5 seconds with Aki, it's just like... The defense raised a point. I can't accuse her of anything right now. Prosecution raises a point. She must be guilty. Off to the gallows with her. Ma'am, here's something that says she might be innocent. She must be innocent. Prosecution, do you have anything to say about this? Here's evidence. Off to the gallows with her. Regarding... I don't think it can be motive. About... Yeah, no, that's... Huh? What? Well, what? The fact that they even exist in the first place is strange. I have no idea what you mean. Everybody's lying. Everyone's lying! Miss Satori has a younger sister, Miss Koishi, yes? Of course, everyone is well aware of that. But she closed her third eye long before Miss Satori ever did, and acts according to her subconscious. While she's acting on her subconscious, that's it, no one ever notices her presence. Exactly. Ooh. I see. Now, the fact that both Miss Izuyoi and I were able to witness someone acting very much like Miss Koishi is odd. Correct. The entire trial will need to be redone based on this major premise. Don't the court agree? Yes, it would seem to be the case. Well, I disagree. We clearly have witnesses and an arrest was made. Why do we have to rethink everything? Anything? Because we both have our own cases we need to prove. Prosecution has to show why it was natural the suspect was seen, while the defense has to show why it was unnatural. Both sides need to make new cases. How could both witnesses mistake Koishi for Satori? No, the question is, I almost want to feel, if Satori is just standing there, subconsciously, flying through the sky according to Sakuya, and standing in front of the Morai Shrine subconsciously, how are people able to witness her, when she should be unwitnessable? What? At the very least, I feel I've explained why it's strange that there are witnesses to Miss Satori acting on her subconscious. If you are going to make a counter-argument, then please present a reason and an example. Gee! Excuse me for the trouble, Your Honor. It's not... It's not about witnessing Koichi, it's about the fact that they even witnessed Satori. Excuse me for the trouble, Your Honor. As you've explained the situation, I see why this development could not be helped, Miss Idanai. Yes, Your Honor. Can you currently disprove the defense's theory? No, I can't. As I thought, and Miss Shimaru? Yes, Your Honor. Is there any telling evidence proving the defense's innocence? No, we have nothing that conclusively proves our case either. It seems that's as far as we can go for today. You bastard! Tomorrow will be the last day of the trial, so I want both sides to make preparations for the finest details. Promise, give a verdict then. Are there any objections? No, none, Your Honor. We understand completely, Your Honor. With that, today's court is adjourned. What is Satori lying about? Is this even Satori? Is she faking her eye? Or is it... What is... Yeah, it's already dark outside. We managed to extend the trial for another day. Koishi's name ever come up? That's an interesting question. Yes, I had to use her as an example. Where is Koichi now? We only got a glance of her yesterday, but we have no idea where she wandered off to. I see. Though she was conscious, it seems like her mind was elsewhere. I'll say. Looks like Miss Hoshigumi is right. Miss Koichi has some kind of relation to this trial. You tell Miss Koichi all I wish she wore a wig. Tomorrow's the last day, even though there's so much we still don't know about. There's nothing we can do about that right now. If we don't know, we don't know. We'll be okay tomorrow. Okay or not, all we can do is try. Okay. For an skating appeared court, yeah. Good morning! Are you still asleep? No. Hey, please wake up. Ugh. Pipe down. We're not gonna have enough time to... Today's trial's starting early, remember? Kwa! Ooh, thank goodness. Are you awake, Aya? Yeah, I guess. You're really this hard to wake up. It's not even that early. Yeah, laying awake most last night, thinking about things. Like what? Oh, considering the potential reasons behind the case. See if that would give me even the slightest hint of a lead. Did you come up with anything? To be honest, no. Okay, with Kanaya. If it was that late, I'd be more suspicious of Mamizo. But there's no evidence to support that any Touhou 13 characters have been involved in these games. 12, I'd believe, but I can't see any 13s yet. I see. I don't think I'll finish it today, but I will at least do some of the investigation right now. I sincerely doubt I will get through the rest of this case in like half an hour. After going over what's happened so far, I think the pieces are slowly falling into place. Gogasa did appear last game. Yeah, that's why I said Touhou 12 characters, I believe. 13 is not in this game. That's why I said normally I would go to accusing Mamizo. But Mamizo was not. As far as I know, is not part of this game. It's not out by now. But we do know that the 12th that the UFO cast should be. That's why I keep pondering Nue. What do you mean? I was thinking about yesterday's trial, specifically the point I brought up at the very end. You mean about the subconscious actions? Yes, but C and I was awfully quick to back down when I mentioned it. Now that I think about it, I agree. We may have just stumbled upon the key to shutting down her case, but if we're not careful, we'll be the one with egg on our faces. That means Miss He and I may have intentionally withdrawn to make full preparations for that argument today. Looks like you got it. I think it's entirely likely she'll try to use the evidence and testimony to fabricate support. Though she'll be lying. She wouldn't go that far. It'll be more along the lines of not telling the whole story. Isn't that still kind of underhanded? What are you talking about? I do things like that all the time. Not like I do it to cause misunderstandings, though. It's just that saying every last detail is a pain sometimes. Oh, that's how it is. Yes, that's how it is. Have you noticed any other important points? Not at all. If we don't know the motive, it won't do us any good to expose the wrongdoing. Why not give it a try anyway? That won't work either. How disappointing. We proved that no one would have noticed Miss Satori if she were being controlled by her subconscious. They could use that to explain how she snuck into the Scarlet Devil Mansion. Interesting point there. Alright, that does open up the possibility. It was a gamble I was forced to take. No matter what she did, she wouldn't have been spotted, huh? She just said it was lucky that she wasn't seen. What is it, eh? Even though she shouldn't have been seen, she was anyway. Why? You talking about Miss Izue and Miss Kochia's testimonies? That's right. There's so few witnesses and so little evidence that not even the prosecution can seem to get a leg up in this case. I started thinking of everything from the opposite angle. What do you mean? First, take what I just said about the prosecution. Maybe it's not that they can get a leg up, they just don't want to. That doesn't make any sense. Wouldn't they want to prove their argument and convict the suspect as soon as possible? Normally, but in this case, there are reasons why they wouldn't want to make a serious attempt. What would those reasons be? The exact reasons why we're so stressed. Lack of evidence and lack of testimony. There's so little that they can't set up their case, so they're using what they do have to buy time. There's so little that yeah. Oh, I see. It was just a guess, but it seems plausible. Even my hunch is off, it doesn't change the current conditions. Is there anything else we can look at from the opposite angle? Yes, like the witness statements about Miss Satori. I mentioned that earlier, right? She shouldn't have been noticed, but I think she purposely allowed herself to be. What? Why? To be fingered as the... What the... Whoa there! Holy... I don't know what that was about with Komachi. Like, I think that's probably just Komachi being lazy, but you never know if that's actually plot relevant. Kid named Finger. I'm sorry, but I'm not following you at all. Miss Satori, for whatever reason, wants to be accused of this crime. It doesn't seem like a setup or anything. She willingly wants to take the blame. Is there a reason for that? I'm sure you could easily think of a few. Maybe she's covering for someone else, or perhaps she's coerced into it. This is the line of thinking I'm concerned to go down. There you go. In fact, I would go as far to say as both theories are accurate. That means Miss Satori isn't the culprit. With the scarcity of evidence, that should be plain to see. Both situations contrived in order for her to take the blame in place of another. This goes a lot deeper than we expected. But right now, everything's starting to fall apart. Why is that? Probably because of the evidence. There's just so frightfully little of it. I'm sure that even one or two more clues would be enough to unravel this mystery. Certainly seems like it. All we can do right now is try to piece together what we have. The success all hinges on what we are able to uncover, even more than usual. Give it our all today, Aya. And we're gonna find a little bit of evidence that doesn't concretely say anything. Aya's gonna be like, it's all over, and then we're gonna figure it out. Where is everybody? Imagine this place would be a madhouse by now. If they're so motivated, they're already investigating. Don't be so heedless with your words. I can't put up with any more of this early morning rackets. Look out! Is the fabled drowsy eye yokai? Who are you calling a yokai? You're the ones The only ones like that around here, you know, you Tengu. That's discrimination. And what isn't about calling a human a yokai? You're pretty fussy today. There's some ruckus that woke me up at the crack of dawn and I couldn't get back to sleep. I should have never allowed those freeloaders to take over my shrine. Now, in any case, today's the final day of the trial. So that was the last groggy morning you had to endure. Thank the gods for that. You notice anything unusual about Miss Satori and the Celestials? Why do you keep asking me that? Like you expect me to tell? Even the smallest thing could help. Isn't there anything at all? Did you think of something? I guess. I remember hearing this weird rattling noise earlier in the morning. I was expecting them to be kind of stressed out about getting ready for today's trial last night. Yet they didn't seem that busy at all. This morning, they were just going nuts, Tenchi barking out orders, the Celestials running around like hyperactive fairies. There's a sudden change in their behavior. Yeah, seems like it. Something important went missing from the sound of it. Could be a big hint there. Pretty sure they said what it was, but I can't remember the name at all. She lost the precious thing, it's over. Marissa's the culprit! I guess she's being interrogated. Back later. Lost the story. Maybe. I think I see Miss Koishi over there. Oh, where? Strange, she's already gone. Or if she's being controlled by her subconscious. Oh, Miss Shimaimuru. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. What are you doing here so early? Before I answer that, I'd like to ask a question myself, if I may. Did you happen to see Miss Koishi around the shrine not too long ago? I'm afraid not. So, if you saw Koishi at the time of the arrest, that means her subconscious was not taking action. Why do you ask? No reason particular. By the way, is there anything else you haven't mentioned yet that might help us? Emoji's gotten insane. Only she sees Koishi. Thought about for quite some time after the trial. If anything caught my attention, it was the time from when I contacted the detectives until the time they arrived. Time, you say? Yes, I feel like they were a little too quick to arrive. Like they were already prepared for your report? I wouldn't say that, but despite not being entirely accustomed to the role, they were surprisingly efficient. I see. I will note that as a personal opinion, then. I'd appreciate it. What's this? I don't know. I just thought that you might, since it looks a bit like the yin-yang orbs you use. Bad for you, but I have no idea what this is supposed to be. I think my guess was off. Bet you feel silly now. No more than you do. Okay, then I guess I won't give you this silly hint. Oh, come now, Miss Hakure. Don't be so heartless. Rice cakes. Huh? Give me rice cakes and you have a deal. Still remember that from before. Of course I do. They don't even have to be the same sweet bean paste filling. As long as they taste good, I'll help. No, I hope you have no complaints about delicious food. Okay, I understand. I'll bring some later. So tell me what you know now. We're seriously running short on time. Alright. I can take a rain check. You should go to Korindo and show it to Rinnosuke. He can tell you what it is or what it's used for. That bastard! Huh? He has the ability to do that just by looking at something. He just can't figure out how to use it. So what's the point in... Is it what it's used for? All you need to know in this case? Oh, you're right. If we know that much, we should be able to figure out what he's used to do. Set up right away. Thank you very much. Talk to me. Spill the beans. Mr. Marchika. Well, if it isn't the Attorney Tengu. This isn't the time to casually exchange greetings. We're losing time. Take that. What's going on? Just look at it. Whoa. What is it? We can't tell what it is either. That's why we want you to examine it so you can tell us what it's called and what its use is. I see. So, can you tell what it is? Without a doubt. It's called a mini taijutsu. You move anything between any two places you desire. Naked, huh? Yukari? But not Yukari? Huh? Lets you move between places? Seems like it. With this, you can warp across space itself. So it lets you appear anywhere you like, whenever you like. Celestial transport, yeah. When you put it simply, yes. You know what this means, Aya? This must have been how the culprit snuck into the library. Right, looks like we finally figured it out. Did Tenchi somehow do this? Frame it to be Koishi, so that Satori would take the fall. Would this have just to have fun? Would this have anything to do with the trial? Yes, there's so little physical evidence that we're in a real bind. I see. We're not even sure if this could be evidence since we don't know how it's used, but we still made some headway. I really appreciate your help. Well, if I can do this much. Slightly updated. Found in a garden at the SDM. Well, that's interesting too, because if it was in the garden, was it dropped there by accident? Or, on like the way out? Bunch of books of questionable content mixed with the shelf of difficult books. Has anything strange happened lately? Strange, you say? Yes, but I'm not sure if it has to do with your case. That's fine. At this point, any tiny thing could give us the breakthrough we need. Alright, then here it is. Is this one of Tenchi's bags? What's this? A customer came to sell this to me. Really? Of course, if I didn't come across it myself, how else could I have obtained it? Would the customer be anyone we know? Of course, it was none other than Reimu. Reimu, did you sell them a piece of evidence that they lost and now are desperate to find? What? Huh? She burst into the store last night and wanted me to buy it. Again? I don't really know where she got it from, but I told her that once I looked into it, I'd give her an offer. Do you know what it is? You crows fly? Called a pocket universe. Yeah, that is what I thought it was. You freely change its size, which allows it to hold anything. Where have I heard that before? Seems familiar to me, too. I haven't looked into its proper method of use yet, but it's probably very similar to your standard bag. Would you mind letting us borrow it, Mr. Marchika? What? I'm begging you. I received this from Reimu, so I actually want her to have a look at it. I'm very concerned as to how she got it and the like. But, please, I absolutely need to borrow it. If you let me, go on. I'll have Momiji model for you, and you can take as many pictures of her as you want. We prison Reimu for theft. What? Ah, that sounds fantastic. Momiji, you need to strip for Rinnosuke. I mean, no! You're so cruel, Aya. You want to help prove Miss Satori innocent, right? Just deal with it. I don't know if that's enough. Huh? If you agree to model for me as well, we have a deal. What? What's the matter, Aya? You want to help prove Miss Satori innocent, right? Yeah, nice comeback. I've been trained. So how about it? Fine, but only after the trial is over. What the Negotiations complete. Here you are. Yeah, thank you very much. Ah, you were right. You put the entire court record into it, and it didn't get any bigger at all. Seems like it become as large as it needs to be, but only on the inside. I have no idea how it works, though. No, that's fine. You've been enough help as it is. I'm gonna check in with Miss Hakure. What is going on in this game? Miss Hakure, are you here? You don't have to yell, I can hear you. There you are. What is it? You noisy fowl. Ack! You acked just now, didn't you? Oh, what are you talking about? You're acting way too flustered. Why do you have that anyway? I received it from Mr. Marchika. Shoot. You said there's a bag that could hold anything, did you not? I'm pretty sure this belonged to the Celestials. It's not like that. Then how is it like? It was left in my shrine, so it's my property. That's how I treat all moochers who stay here. Would you give it up with that close-fisted mentality? I sold off a couple of their things. What's the big deal? They owe me! I never explicitly gave it to you. You shouldn't sweat the small stuff. This is hardly small. Alright, tell me where you got this. You give me the straight answer. Alright. When I was at the trial, I went looking through the room Tenchi was staying in for something I could sell at Korindo. Then Rinnosuke told me that he wouldn't take anything unless he knew how to use it. All I wanted was some quick cash. Absolutely unbelievable. You're no better than Miss Kirisabe. No, we're completely different. She does it for kicks, but I have to do it to live. I'm starving. Don't you see that I'm practically wasting away? You're supposed to work harder to bring visitors to the shrines that give you offerings. What was that cut? Fine, you win. Do whatever you want with it. No, you seem to be mistaken about that, too. You gonna return it? No, we're gonna put this to good use as evidence. You're doing the same thing I did. I am not. I'm returning it as soon as the trial's over. Is there any other info you were able to swipe? Is there a better way to put it that? Tenchi versus Reimu. You stole my pocket dimension! You don't have the authority to tell me what to worry about right now. About rude. So, is there or is there not? There isn't. Really? Really? Hmm? I told you I don't have anything. Aya? I don't think I believe you. Are you talking like that all of a sudden? Aya. No reason. It's starting to tick me off. I said Aya! Whoa, what? What is it, Momiji? Something just fell out of the bag. What's that? Eek! Oh, Miss Hakure. Hey, why do you sound upset? That tone of voice doesn't suit a creature as lovely as yourself, you know. Saying the obvious won't help you. Of course not. What is this supposed to be, Miss Hakure? I don't know. Just because I happen to grab something off the ground doesn't mean I know about it inside and out. Don't get mad at me now. It's getting out of hand. We're perfectly calm and collected, just as if we were having a nice chat over tea. Well, it didn't have to come out as to a shouting match. Enough whining already. How'd you find this? It just happened to fall out when I was organizing the court record. What could this be? Looks like a bell. I know, let's go show it to Mr. Morchika. That's a good idea. Satisfied now? I see you, we've gotten quite a few hints, but we'd like to keep it a secret, so pretend this visit never happened, okay? Fine, but in return, I get to come over to your place sometime for a meal or 5. I'd rather you not. The bell that can't fold to be placed in the court record, so it was placed in Ai's shirt pocket. Maybe it was behind the case. It sells Satori and Patchouli organs for money, yeah. Ah! He isn't here, you bastard! What a time for him to wander off and leave his store unattended. What should we do? Well, let's take a look around ourselves. 3 gold? That's even less than last time. $9 gold? Oh, it's different every time I check it. Did that say that time? Yeah, I keep skipping over that one. What else am I checking here? I don't know. What? Miss Koshi's here. What? Seat right over... Huh? Did you lose her? Yeah, I'm sorry. Well, she's moving by her subconscious. I know she's going to be that easy to spot. Good morning. Good morning. Maybe Scarlet is asleep. No, I'm awake. What? Don't sneak up on us like that, please. See, you've shocked Momiji senseless. I was not intending to frighten you. The fact that I've just returned from Iente. How's Miss Knowledge doing? There's been no change. For that, I will admit that Aaron's proficiency is perfectly adequate. Well, that's good. By the way, you didn't happen to pass Miss Koshi on the way in, did you? No, I didn't see her at all. What of it? You didn't see her? That's fine. I was only checking. I see. Okay, it's been 2 hours of this. I need to go to bed. And I want to get another goose chase. Wild goose chase. We'll finish this trial next time. And probably start the extra one. I'm sure there's extra. I'm afraid of losing. Yeah. Clearly looking at this trial is going like, oh, I'm about to lose. Oh, no. But, you smell Koishi. Well, I said earlier that Momichi has very good eyes, much better eye than hers, so clearly that's how it is. But that's gonna be it for now, because I need to go to bed, so I'm out of here. I'll be back tomorrow for the usual. I'll be back for more of this on Monday. But that's it for now. I'll start to get interesting. I mean, it was interesting before. Ramping up, that's how it goes. But I can't spend another 45 minutes on this today. I'm gonna pass out if I go that long.